Okay, can you just state your name for me?
Stephen Brown.
And where are you from, Stephen?
Corpus Christi, Texas.
All right. Well, thanks for talking with us today. I guess my first question for you is, tell me what you know about the red tide and how often it happens.
Red tide, everybody always calls it a bacteria in the water. It's not a bacteria. It's a single-celled organism called a diatom. And the red tide is basically a bloom. They bloom and spread and multiply. It depletes the oxygen level in the water. They attach to the fish's gills, and that's what actually kills the fish. It's not a bacteria that gets in their body. The meat isn't bad or anything. It's just their gills get covered up with the diatoms. They can't breathe and they die. Happens typically every year down here because of the warm water we have. It usually starts somewhere in the late August, anywhere from late August through October. Once we get into the colder months, I think the water has to drop below 62 degrees or something, but it kills everything off and then we're back to normal.
So how long when the red tide does happen, if this was red tide, how often or how long does this last?
It can last 2 weeks or it can last 3 months. It's different every year. It's never the same exact thing. Sometimes it's in and out real quick. We'll get an early cold front that'll knock it down and kill it off real quick. Most of the time you're looking at anywhere from a month and a half to 2 months though.
Okay. So I showed you a video of what we're looking at here right now with all this, the fish and everything that have died. When you see this video, what goes through your head?
I'm looking at it and I'm only seeing one species of fish. They're menhaden. And it's only one species of fish. Typically when you have a red tide bloom, it's going to be every species of fish that comes in contact with it. So you'll have multiple species. Right now we're looking at that. I've been out there a couple of times myself to look at it, and it's all menhaden with the occasional other fish in there. So my thoughts on this is that there was a different kind of occurrence that happened. Something happened to the school of menhaden that caused them to perish. I don't know if it's low oxygen levels in the water. We've been having a tremendous amount of runoff from all the rain we've been having, and there's a bunch of fresh water that's been running off the land into the ocean. And what happens is you get a ton of all the fertilizers and stuff that come off the land that are into the water. They mix in the water and it creates dead zones basically, where they're very oxygen depleted. Fish get into this dead zone and they can't find their way out, and that's the way they die.
Okay, so being the red tide or what you had just explained, how do these types of situations impact you guys?
The red tide is really just an obnoxious smell. The diatoms release a gas into the air, and that's what the humans are affected by. It won't actually, I don't know if it'll kill you. I think if you were an asthmatic or you had COPD or some kind of existing breathing problem, introducing the red tide into it would make it that much worse, and you might actually have some health issues involved with it. As a normal person, you're going to get itchy, watery eyes. Your breathing in and out is going to feel harsh. You're going to taste it nasty. It won't do anything to your skin at all. It's mostly just an internal. The gas that's released from the diatom gets in your lungs, and it's very uncomfortable. And the smell is obnoxious and terrible. You'll learn to stay away from it, basically. Us locals, we kind of stay away from it if we can.
Does it impact your business at all?
Yes, I'm in the fishing industry, so if the red tide is involved, it cuts the fishing down by 50 to 70% on any given day. You don't have a lot of people coming down here to fish. They don't want to be involved in the red tide. They don't want to be anywhere near it. So people don't fish. I don't make any money. That's basically how that works.